After drifting away from Sekiwake and with no quality sparring partners mid-pandemic, Tamawashi looked to be going through the motions pre-retirement. But in July, just 4 months before his 37th birthday, the Mongolian keenly underlined that his resilient flame had yet to burn its last. He began as he meant to go on, dispatching Shimanomi in his usual upright thrusting style, and he unbalanced another orange belter on day 2 with a well-timed left throat hold and right parry, the legs still evidently moving for him. When his right foot goes airborne like that, you expect him to be poleaxed, but here his trailing leg gripped firmly, and when Hidenomi slipped inside to force him back, the armlock throw was ready. And good extension of long arms to keep Kotonowaka from the belt, plus a trick at the rope, took him to 4-0 for the first time since November 2008, when his face looked as young and unmarked as this. "I was actually a bit flustered up there today," he confessed. "I wanted to go forward relentlessly, but he was too young and strong. I have to beat these youngsters, you see. That's where the fun lies." Sadly, no form, no matter how fine, lasts forever. Big Aoyama refused to be cowed by the opening thrusts, prodded him away with left knee well forward, and promptly stood him up for a 9th win from their 15 bouts. And little Terutsuyoshi, tired of being sidestepped in the opening third, tried a sideways moving tachiai of his own, with telling effect. There would be no easy ride against Chiyono-O either, the Kokonoi man blunting Tamawashi's left, then switching angles on the slide for an attempted slapdown, only to step out first by a fraction of a second. Tamawashi remained rattled against Chiyono-Kuni, and unable to dictate terms, but seized his chance when his foe spun towards the rope, putting all into the final push. "I've always been a pusher from the first to the last, so I've got to do it well," was what he said, and his words reminded us of his added incentive to succeed this time. For the coach who taught him that pushing is the core of sumo, the previous Katao Nami, died just days before the tournament. The veteran's July achievements can thus be seen as a fitting tribute. He was fooled by a second sidestep in 4 days next, but then massacred straight-charging Tokushoryu on day 10 to begin his splendid run on the home straight. A rough assault on the neck and armpit of Ichi Yamamoto took him to 8 wins, before a stand and receive approach to Ishiuda's tachiai took him to 9. "I braced myself and made sure he wouldn't slip away from underneath," was his fight explanation. "You know, I'm having real fun fighting up there," he added. He was also bearing down on a record, day 13 marking his 1,359th straight appearance since his debut, with no injury absences, thus taking him joint 7th on the all-time list with the current coach Shikoroyama, the former Sekiwake Terao. "But don't compare me to him," he said after this routine push-out of Takada Fuji. "Shikoroyama was by far the better fighter. I'm just stacking up numbers." Indeed he is, overtaking the former Terao on day 14, and in some style too. manhandling Hokuto Fuji from both left and right. That made it 11 wins for the first time since he sensationally took the title on the day his youngest child was born, back in January 2019. "It's ages since I've even reached double figures, so obviously I'm delighted," he said. "And I want to try and impress the crowd in my final match." That came against Flying Monkey Tobizaru, with victory set to land him a Fighting Spirit prize. Could the storybook ending materialize? Alas, it could not. Tobizaru tunneling inside from the off and dragging the veteran into the type of grapple he hates, in which no thrusts could be deployed. Quite how his fighting spirit here could be questioned to the point of not giving him the prize is beyond me. But he still made it to 1,361 uninterrupted bouts. An astonishing feat for a man who had fought no sumo at all until the age of 19. "I don't really feel much towards these appearance records while I'm still fighting," he said, "but the pride will likely increase once I retire." And on this sparkling evidence, that day is still some way off.